Hey, thanks for joining me. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Hope you stick around. So I had something kind of wild happen to me the other day. I always like to meet new people. You just never know what you're going to learn, who you're going to meet. So I was actually at work when this happens. I was at a gas station. And for those of you that don't know, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I'm not a full-time farmer or a homesteader. These are all things that I do uh, more or less part-time. Hopefully one day I'll be able to transition into this full-time, but at the time being, I do have a full-time job, and what I do, I drive a gasoline tanker truck, and I deliver to gas stations at night, sometimes during the day, and anyways, you encounter a lot of interesting people, and the other day was no exception. So I used to have a full-time mowing business. I had lawn care and landscaping, and I did that kind of alongside of a full-time job. And for a brief time, I actually did it full-time for a while also. So I did that for approximately 5 years. So I've always had a big interest in lawn care equipment in general. I've always wanted to learn about it. I always want to, I see something nice. I see a tractor, a mower, anything. I want to learn about it. So I was at the gas station. This is making my delivery, and there was a guy at the next pump over. It was an older gentleman, and he was putting gas in his mower. It was a pretty nice mower, as you can see in the thumbnail. It was a Ferris. I don't know the exact model. I don't know a lot about Ferris. I've never owned one, but it was one of the nicer Ferrises. It was probably one of the top of the line ones. Had the the suspension, spring suspension on all four corners. The nice seat. Had the big high horsepower, I think Briggs on it, and the large. I think it was a 72-inch deck. It was a nice mower. So I just kind of casually walked over and just said, "Hey man, that's a nice mower." And he turned around, said thanks, and we got to talking for a little while. We probably talked 10 or 15 minutes or so. He was one of those guys that just you could probably talk to all day. Really a nice old guy, and in some ways he kind of reminded me of my grandpa. And he just had some wild stories. He said he was 74 years old. It was a very hot day that day. It was probably in the 90s, and he's out here. He said he had 20 yards he takes care of, and most of them are very large properties. Some of them multiple acred properties. That's the reason he had the large mower. 74 years old, still out there working that hard. And that was not his only full-time job because, not his only job because a lot of the properties he was taking care of, he said, was properties that he owned. So he also was involved in a lot of real estate. So he was a landlord and a landscaper, I guess you could call him. So he was staying very busy. So I thought that was kind of nice, seeing somebody 74 years old working that hard. I sometimes feel like I'm old, but I know I'm not. And seeing somebody that's continuing working and kind of living their dream, and he wasn't just like working for somebody. He said it was something that he enjoyed because he was taking care of properties that he owns. But he had trouble getting off his trailer, which I don't blame the guy. He's 74 years old, but I was going to help him, and he said, "No, my leg is actually bothering me." And he pulled his pant leg up. He was wearing jeans. He pulled his pant leg up and showed me this real nasty mark he had. It was bruised and purple, and then he showed me there was a red, like a hole. It was healed up, but it was a red spot. And then he pulled his pants up a little farther, and there was another second hole. And he said, "Yeah, I just recently got shot." And I thought, "Wow, you got shot?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I shot myself by mistake." I guess he said he fell asleep with his gun in his pocket, and something happened. His dogs were barking about something, and he got up real fast, and he went to get his gun, and it was a revolver. In some way, he accidentally pulled the trigger, shot himself in the leg, and then it came out the other part of his leg, and so luckily the bullet didn't stay in there. But yeah, he was telling me he got pretty lucky. The paramedics said that if it went a little further, it could have possibly shattered a bone or possibly hit an artery, and he may have bled out. And I thought, man, that's pretty wild. This guy He's got a gunshot wound. He's 74 years old. He's working out there in this heat. And then the other thing is, he said that the crazy thing was is the paramedics actually took over 20 minutes to get there to him after he called 911. So he actually made a tourniquet out of his pajamas, believe it or not. I'm thinking, man, this is a tough old guy. And anyways, I just said, nice to meet you. And we stood there and talked 10 or 15 minutes. And I went back to doing what I was doing because he was getting ready to leave. And he called me back over again. He said, hey, come here for a minute. And I walked over and he said, you're okay with guns? Are you okay around guns? And I said, yeah, I've been around guns. They don't bother me. And then right in the middle of the day, middle of this busy gas station, he pulls a gun out. And he said, this here's the one. This is the one that got me. I said, man, that's pretty wild. It was a nice gun, but at the same time, I'm not normally nervous about guns, but he just got finished telling me about how he shot himself, so I know this guy's really careless with guns, or at least he was that night anyway. I was like, yeah, that's pretty nice, and he put it away, and then he reached in his other pocket and pulled out a bullet. I didn't know it was a bullet at the time. He asked me to stick my hand out. He was like, here, let me show you this, and he put a bullet in my hand, and he said, that's it, that's the one. That's the one that went through my leg. And he said he's got a friend of his that's going to make it into a necklace. And I thought, well, that'd be a good memory, maybe a good luck charm. So it's just interesting the people you meet out there. And I thought this would be an interesting story to share on this channel because, if you're going to live a rural lifestyle, farm life, self-sufficient life, you need to be tough. You need to be tough like an old guy like that. Not afraid of hard work. Not somebody that's just going to retire when they're 62 or 65 years old. He's still willing to work. That guy like that, he'll probably work until he's dead. He's never going to quit. Somebody like that, and he's able to make a tourniquet for himself. If you're out doing work, you can't rely on other people. You got to be able to take care of yourself. You need to have a good, group of people around you. It's good to have people to help you, but sometimes people are not always there to help you. You need to be able to help yourself. You need to be able to be self-sufficient. And really that's what channels like this are about. And that's what I hope to maybe give you a little bit of entertainment and also help you learn. I know I'm learning every day. Try to anyway. But I just thought that was an interesting and encouraging story. Never stop working hard, and you just never know what you're gonna run across. You never know what you're gonna encounter. This guy sounds like he laid down, took a nap, and he woke up to being shot in the leg. Yeah, I mean that's not something you expect. And here I was just doing my job there, making a delivery, and had an old guy pull a gun out on me. Not in a scary way. He wasn't threatening at all, but it was a little bit intimidating after the guy just said he just shot himself. So I was like, wow, does this guy know what he's doing? Maybe you better go ahead and put that away. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of an interesting story I want to share with you guys. And just stay safe out there. And if you have any interesting stories, maybe leave them in the comments. Or have you ever had a gun pulled on you at a gas station? That was a first for me. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you don't care, maybe consider giving me a like and subscribe. It don't cost you anything, and it really does help the channel out.